Hello, friends, and welcome to Sleep Tight Stories. Every week, we celebrate our supporters through shoutouts and personal birthday messages. We think this is also a fun way for us to hear about all the amazing places that you, our listeners, come from. I'd like to say hello to Hazel from Michigan. Hello to Ari and Evie from Mom and Dad. Hello to Zoe from New Brunswick. Hello to Rachel in California, age 10. And hello to Rory, age 9, who shared a great picture of Bernice wearing a dinosaur t-shirt, eating a cookie. Happy belated birthday to Shyla from London, Ontario, who turned 8 on April 2nd. Love, Mom and Dad. Your big brother Suvi says he is so lucky to have you as his sister. Happy belated birthday to Gabriel, who turned 4 on April 5th. And happy belated birthday to Camilo, who turned 7 on April 21st in the Chiloé archipelago in southern Chile. Your family loves you so much. Happy belated birthday to Eva, who turned 9 on April 22nd. Love, Mom, Dad, and your little brother Ari. Happy belated birthday to Dennis in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, who turned 6 on April 28th. Your family loves you so much and are proud of the colorful, kind, and thoughtful person that you are becoming. Never lose the colors you have. And happy belated 8th birthday to Sitara. Wishing you a fabulous birthday in Croatia on the 28th of April. Happy 5th birthday to Bellevue Barnett on April 30th. Mommy and Daddy love you to the farthest galaxy and back. Happy 7th birthday to Evelyn, who has a birthday on May 1st. Love, Mommy, Daddy, Lawson, and Rosie. We are so proud that you are ours and love you so much. And happy birthday to Savannah Jade in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, who is turning 7 on May 2nd. Your parents are proud of you and love you very much. Happy birthday to you all. To reserve your special shout-out, please visit sleeptightstories.org/support. We can't wait to celebrate with you. Now, on to our story. Nicole could not believe what she saw when she walked through the door. It was her barn, but it was so new-looking. Meeting Angus was interesting and got her thinking. When she returned home to eat, she thought she'd be able to figure things out better on a full stomach. After lunch, she helped her mom while thinking about what she saw. When she wakes up the next day, she heads out to the garden, thinking about the dream she had. Nicole and the Box in the Barn, Part 6. Nicole washed her hands and sat down at the table to eat lunch, which today was grilled cheese sandwiches and pickles. Pickles and cheese seemed like a weird combination to Nicole, but she was starving and figured all the smoked meat they'd brought from Montreal must have run out. All the fresh air must have made you hungry, Nicole's mother said, as she put another sandwich on Nicole's plate. We have run out of smoked meat, so grilled cheese might have to be our new comfort food. Maybe next time we can try it with tomato soup. Tomato soup? Nicole said, coming up for air from constantly eating. Who eats tomato soup? I did when I was a kid. It's tasty and good for you, her mother replied. Yeah, but you are super old, Mom. That's like old-fashioned food, Nicole said, as she finished the last of her second sandwich. I'm not sure why I am so hungry today. Maybe traveling through a magical door to another time burns calories, she thought to herself. Did I really travel back in time? Nicole mumbled. What did you say, sweetie? Her mother asked. Nothing, Mom. I was just thinking aloud that a piece of that chocolate cake you baked would taste good right now. Wow, you certainly are hungry. Maybe I should spend some time out in your garden. I could use the fresh air and exercise, her mother said, as she went to the fridge to get some cake. "Do you think you can help me put together the shelves this afternoon? We can listen to your music while we work." Nicole still needed time to think about what she was experiencing in the garden. Maybe spending time with her mother would help her understand. "Sure, years of Lego building experience have made me an expert in following directions to building shelves," she said. "Perfect. I just don't have the patience I used to have. I'll clean up a bit and then we can get started as soon as you finish your cake." Nicole spent the afternoon with her mom in the living room, assembling shelves and filling the space with the sound of her favorite music. They laughed and chatted like they used to in Montreal, occasionally pausing their work to munch on cheesy snacks, which left their fingers delightfully orange. It was fun, and Nicole appreciated these moments with her mom. Yet, as they worked together, her thoughts drifted back to the door and the magical garden. Every song that played seemed to carry a note of the strangeness of the experience, and each snack break was a moment to think about what else she might experience if she went through it again. While her mother prepared their dinner, Nicole thought of returning to the garden and taking another peek through the door. But the sky was full of dark clouds, and it looked like rain. The weather was always unpredictable here, changing as swiftly as the tides. Instead, she helped her mother, and later they enjoyed a supper of spaghetti and meatballs just as the rain began to tap gently against the windows. Afterward, they settled into the living room. They covered themselves in blankets to guard against the cold and watch a movie, the room now lined with new but empty shelves. That night, Nicole slept deeply, the events of the day fading into the background. However, her dreams were filled with images of the garden. The flowers were even more vibrant, and the trees seemed to whisper to her. Angus, the boy she had met, seemed oddly familiar, almost as if she had known him from another time, or perhaps from a forgotten memory. In the dream, they wandered about the farm together, laughing and talking about Montreal and its differences to the island. Nicole wondered if she had truly traveled back in time, or if the garden was merely a creation of her imagination. She opened her eyes to see the time on her clock. She had slept in. Looking at her curtains, she could see that her mother had somehow managed to get them to stay closed without her solution of nailing them to the wall. Nicole sighed, rubbed the sleepers from her eyes, and sat up in bed. She shivered. "Brrr! Will it ever be warm in this old house?" she asked herself as she hopped across the room to get her now filthy jeans. She grabbed a clean hoodie out of the closet and hopped to her door. She walked down the stairs to the kitchen but stopped midway. "I forgot my socks again," she said to herself. She was just about to go back to get them, but the smell of pancakes caused an involuntary rumble in her stomach, which convinced her to continue down the stairs and walk into the kitchen. "Good morning, you slept in today," her mother said. "I thought we might have some pancakes this morning as a treat. Besides, we are a bit low on eggs. I guess I'll have to go to the drugstore today to buy more." Nicole was grateful not just for the pancakes, but also for a break from eggs, her least favorite breakfast food. She missed bagels for breakfast, especially the ones that had everything on them. "Do you have to go to the drugstore to buy eggs here? This place is stranger than I thought," Nicole said. "Don't they sell them in the grocery store?" "Haha, it is a bit silly, but they sell some foods cheaper in the drugstore here, and well, I always like to get things on sale," her mother said. Nicole finished her last bite of pancake and licked the remaining syrup off her plate. "Nicole, we don't lick our plates," her mother groaned. "We do if they have maple syrup on them. I'm sure everyone does that," Nicole replied, as she got up from the table and put her plate in the dishwasher. "I'm off to my garden, Mom. If you need my help putting books on the shelves, just yell out the window," Nicole said, as she hopped across the ice-cold floor to the back porch. "After I finish the books, I might go to the drugstore if you want to come," her mother said from the kitchen sink. "I think I am too busy, Mom. See you later," Nicole replied as she ran outside, the door slamming behind her. Many of Nicole's friends in Montreal would go to the drugstore or to the mall to try on makeup, but Nicole was never that interested. She had her own style, which she coined casual chic. Nicole ran across the dew-laden grass, oblivious to how wet her feet were getting. She hadn't given much thought to Angus and the garden beyond what she remembered from her dream overnight. She was curious to see what the garden looked like, but mostly curious as to what would happen if she went through the door again. Maybe this time it would lead to her ice cream parlor in Montreal. Walking through the garden gate, Nicole said again, "Good morning, roses. Good morning, sunflowers." The flowers again moved in response. "Good morning, garden." The garden seemed to have grown overnight, with even more wildflowers, bushes full of strawberries, and even the trees had ripe apples ready to be picked. Nicole walked to the corner of the garden, where the wooden doorway was surrounded by trees, tall bushes, and flowering plants. She tried the door. It was still unlocked. She pushed open the door and stepped through. The air seemed to shimmer slightly, giving everything a surreal, dreamlike quality. Immediately, everything looked newer and fresher, as if the farm had just been built. The barn that stood rickety and abandoned in her time was now robust and bustling with activity, its white paint vibrant against the bright morning sky. The smell of fresh hay and the sounds of farm animals filled the air. Cows mooing softly in their pens, chickens clucking as they pecked at the ground, and horses neighing from their stables. It was like stepping into a living snapshot of the past, so vivid and real that Nicole could almost forget she was from another place. As she wandered around, marveling again at the crispness of everything, she heard her name in the distance, carried on the breeze. "Nicole!" It was Angus, and his voice was friendly and familiar. She turned toward the sound and saw him emerging from behind the newly built barn, waving at her. As he approached, Nicole felt nervous. How does everything stay so perfect here? She wondered silently, taking in the surroundings that seem untouched by time. Angus's presence made the experience feel even more authentic and immersive, as if he were a bridge connecting her to this bygone world. "Where did you go yesterday?" Angus said. "I ran around the whole farm and didn't see you. Are all the people from away fast runners?" "I had lost track of time and had to run home, or my mother might worry I got lost or something," Nicole replied. "Yeah, I suppose. You city kids lead different lives, my father told me. But that's no matter. I've finished my chores for now, and I can show you around the farm, though there isn't much to see. I think my mother might have some fresh milk that we got from our cows this morning," Angus said, as they slowly walked toward the bright red doors of the barn. "You get your milk straight out of a cow?" Nicole asked. "Ha ha ha. Where else would you get milk? Sometimes I will have a drink of milk right after it goes into the bucket. It's yummy. You don't have a cow where you grew up? Angus asked. No, we get our milk from a store. Angus looked puzzled for a moment, then burst out laughing. From a store? You mean you buy it in a bottle or something? Nicole nodded. Yes, it comes in jugs or cardboard cartons, actually. That sounds so strange. Here we milk our cows every morning, and that's the freshest milk you can get, Angus explained, still chuckling at the thought of buying milk. Nicole smiled, intrigued by the differences. What about eggs? Do you buy those at a store too? Angus shook his head, grinning. Nope, we just go out to the hen house and collect them, fresh from the chicken. Nicole laughed this time. Well, we do get eggs from a store too. They come in little cardboard boxes, all clean and neatly arranged. And I suppose your vegetables come from a store as well? Angus asked, raising an eyebrow. Actually, yes. They're all washed and wrapped up in plastic most of the time, Nicole replied. Angus looked amazed. Here, we just pull them out of the ground, wash them with some water from the well if they need it, and eat them. Sometimes we don't even bother washing them. Nicole's eyes widened. That sounds so different. We definitely don't do that. Even our dirt comes in bags from the store. Angus burst into laughter again, shaking his head. Your world sounds so complicated. Bags of dirt? I think I'll stick to getting mine from the ground. Both of them laughed together. How about you come up to the house and try some fresh, warm milk? Once you taste the milk from our cow, you won't want to drink anything else. Nicole and Angus continued chatting and laughing about their different ways of life as they walked towards the house. It seemed to her that Angus could easily become a friend, and she looked forward to more conversations. And that is the end of this part. Good night. Sleep tight.